Hi, I'm George the Antique Nomad. Come with me as I wander the country in search of valuable vintage, amazing antiques, and cool collectibles. We'll buy, sell, and trade at antique malls, shops, and shows, estate sales, flea markets, thrift stores, anywhere people go to find really interesting things that just aren't made anymore. So come on, let's go! Hey everyone, it's George the Antique Nomad, and I am at Star Center Antique Mall in Snohomish, Washington. I'm here to put stuff in my space where I'm having a big sale, but I'm also here because I am looking at Fenton Glass today. I'm going to be at the Fenton Glass Convention July 24th through 27th doing appraisals, and they've also invited me to bring things to sell. And I have a little honey hole here in Snohomish, thanks to the Star Center Mall, because they used to rent a separate space upstairs to my friend Marion Thornton, and I'm sorry to say she's no longer with us, but she had a shop that specialized primarily in Fenton glass, and when she passed, her family asked the mall to take it on and sell it for them, and they have a great selection, and they're going to let me take some of those pieces to Ohio. So we're going to take a look at Fenton today and take a look at the kinds of things that we think might go well at the convention. Marion had an incredible amount of Fenton glass for sale, and she had a lot of things like these pieces from the 1980s that she bought when she first opened her store when Fenton was still in business, but she also bought a lot of antique and vintage Fenton pieces as well. Look at some of these amazing Burmese Cruets, and Burmese is so popular right now, but she has Cruets in just about every pattern they made. You see coin spot, you see 1960s era pieces. There's these wonderful lamps. Look at all this. These are the blue Burmese pieces. These are very desirable, and I definitely would like to take some of those. And then some of these wonderful baskets. The tag says baskets are Fenton, and that is certainly true. But they did so much stuff. They did wave crest style glass at one point. There's a nice piece of that. They did this Jack in the Pulpit vase priced at $145. This was a dealer exclusive in 2007 near the end of their run. Here's an Aladdin lantern by Fenton with the fern and daisy pattern. Lots of cranberry, hobnail, and coin spot and opalescent pieces. Look at this great fairy lamp. That's definitely something I think should go. Very cute little vanity set. The ruby shade on this lamp is very pretty. And then animals, lots of the cats, lots of the little limited edition pieces. I think these are just great. And they've got horses, and they've got the bunny, and they've got in Burmese, and they've got little panda bears. These are very popular with collectors. And there's a whole case full of them, so I think I'm going to get to take some of these for folks as well. Blue custard from the 1970s. You see a nice ginger jar and a lamp as well. They even did Mary Gregory patterns, and of course this one is a golfer, so a little more modern, but a lot of the painted pieces are doing very well right now, especially the Charlton decorated. There's a dealer sign here in the chocolate slag. Holiday lines and ruby glass lines here, including old pieces with the original Fenton label still on them. This lamp is Vasa Marina from the 1960s and 70s. Such an amazing selection, and I feel really fortunate that I'm going to get to choose some of these pieces to take. There's a very pretty ruby vase with the hand painting. A later Fenton paperweight with the logo. More fairy lamps. We know that fairy lamps are popular, so I plan to take a few of those. Look how pretty these pieces are. The stretch glass with the painting. The butterfly is a great design there, and then we have fish here. That's pretty neat. A Loewe pattern in the stretch glass in ruby. This is an unusual 1960s piece with the Asian design. And more critters, ducks and deer. A lot of these again, hand painted with florals. Loads of cats. Lots of toothpick holders. Again, I'll have to pick through because there is a mix. She did have other things besides Fenton, so there are other pieces in here, but Fenton is what I'm looking for this event. So much to choose from and only so much space to put it in, so I'm going to have to be selective. I mean, I'd love to bring all of these lamps, but I could fill the car with just lamps. Fenton Burmese for the Heisey Club. They got some of the Heisey molds and made them for a while, so you see the pony there. The Bashful Charlotte, that's very cute, standing in the middle of that compote. A nice Jack in the Pulpit vase. Just lots of great choices here. She had such an amazing store, and there's still a lot of amazing pieces left. And now we're walking into another space. Here we have a whole lot of cranberry hobnail glass. A lot of the coin spot and coin dot. More in the Burmese. These are older pieces here, these two-tone. I love those with the jadeite base. That's a 1920s line. Of course, the alley cats are very, very popular right now, so I think we'll need to take at least one of those. And they just have so many great choices. More hanging hearts. A sign piece there with the milk glass with the swirls in it. That's unusual. This piece right here, which has all the information about Frank Workman, who made it, is a beauty with all the swirl in it. And look how gorgeous that is. There are just so many great pieces. This one here is a sample, this painted base on the right, meaning that they did it basically as an artist proof. These Vaseline pieces are a limited edition from the 1980s. And then we have Angelo Rossi designs done for Fenton. Those are beautiful, and he was born in Venice, and you can tell the Venetian glass influence. A lot of people don't know that Fenton had all of these interesting guest designers and people who came to work from them from around the world, so there's a lot of pieces that are different than what people think of when they think of Fenton. But I have to admit, cranberry is something I think of when I think of Fenton, and boy do they have the cranberry. The Wavecrest reproduction box there, more Mary Gregory style, a lot of hand painted. I like this one with the opalescent fern in the pattern. So many great choices. Just phenomenal. They really ought to have the convention here. Some nice Vasa Marina. That one's got the original tag. That's hard to find. And another shelf full of Vasa Marina. Just really a phenomenal selection here. Lots of shoes. This one, also a frozen Charlotte, or a nymph as they called it. One of 14 that they made. Look at this beautiful 1984 piece with the swans on it, with the interior in a different color. And then hanging hearts. This is a very popular 1970s line, and I think I need to take at least a piece of that as an example. And just so many interesting, fun things. Look at the clock there. That's from 1985. Actually, these log cabin painted pieces were late 70s and early 80s, and they've got a nice selection. They also have top hats. Look at this. This looks like spatter glass, almost like check glass, but that is a Fenton piece. It's got the logo right on it. This is far too big to take, but look at this wonderful double opera lamp with the fern pattern in opalescent. And here's a bunch of wonderful stuff too. This 2001 limited edition with the fish on the Burmese is great. The one next to it is a real beauty. There's ginger jars, a tumble up. This is a hurricane lamp on a base here, $275. I mean, these prices with the renewed interest in Fenton now are really in line with where these things are selling. Carved glass. The Rosaline pieces in the back there, that's another short-lived color from Fenton that's very desirable now. And of course everybody's hot for all this stuff that glows under a black light, so we've got the Apern there, we've got a Santa Claus fairy lamp. This is just going to be such a job to try to limit myself to a few dozen items when there's so many great pieces here. A whole bunch of the chocolate slag glass. Nice little ruby apern. You do not see that color very often. I like the lemon painted as the lid on that little jug there. There's a bunch of the blue, including an alley cat. and another Bashful Charlotte. And then yellow-green Vaseline. That's a neat dresser box with the scent bottle built in with the dauber. And then we get into some really amazing Cameo Glass. Just beautiful pieces. These are not inexpensive. Some of them were very, very limited production, but they are gorgeous. This one with the leaping fish. Kelsey Murphy was involved with Fenton for a while. She signed this piece right here. After Pilgrim Glass closed, she worked with Fenton. She's now the designer for Blanco Glass in West Virginia. But she did a lot of beautiful cameo work for Fenton as well. So we definitely want to represent some of that. This is going to be a hard task to figure out exactly what to take, and then look at this. Here you go, Kelsey Murphy and Robert Bonkamp, when they were doing their studio lines for them. I think these are amazing, these multicolored on the black. Just gorgeous stuff. I can't wait to show some of this to the fans who are coming all the way to Ohio. This is going to be a lot of fun. The Burmese ape heron is just amazing. Priced at $5.95 again. You know, Fenton's popular again. These prices are prices that are being fetched at this point. So I am not concerned about the pricing. Look at these great teal colors. Lots of the dresser jars. Some of them have the Charlton decoration, which is absolutely fantastically popular right now. Christmas items, hats. This is just a really amazing group of items, and I'm very excited to show them to you. And then I have to make choices. That's going to be the hard part. It's really great Vaseline glass banana boat and the dome butter. The shell set, beverage set there. Big punch bowl sets. We might see the blue satin glass fairly often, but we don't see this purple ape heron much at all. And these carnival pieces, which are about 35 to 40 years old now. And the dogs, are those great. Those faces are just amazing, and the glass eyes. And then we've got a cabinet of unusual pieces here. Look at the elephant. The egg turned into an elephant. That's just really fun. A very limited hanging hearts vase there. This beautiful feather pole. Whoops, we'll get where you can see that a little better. That looks more like something by Orion and Flume, or one of those California glass companies. There is just such great stuff here. So many good choices. This is a special run in the mulberry. That's a very hard color to find. More fairy lamps. More hanging hearts. I like these eggs. A lot of these were very limited editions in the 1980s. Here is a Dave Fetty piece, this little dinosaur, and he is going to be appearing at the convention that I'm going to, so I am definitely taking that piece. The lovely maidens. You see some of the Fenton labels on those. And here we have birds and snails and ducks and just the most amazing selection. Look at this very pretty lamp here. It is really going to be hard to choose. There's such an amazing amount here. And I'm so glad to get to show all of you this and to explain to you that this is why Fenton glass is really cool. A lot of people just think that everything they made looks like this. But they made a huge variety of beautiful pieces over the years. There's an aqua crest with the floral decoration. A lovely basket. Another lovely basket. I mean, where do you even begin? This bird is a 1996 limited edition. A lot of the more traditional shapes in blue, but you can see people have been buying those because there's some holes on these shelves. Well, I've got my work cut out for me to figure out what of these many, many beautiful items I can choose to take to this event. I am so excited to be able to represent some of this. It's a real tribute to my dear departed friend Marion Thornton, who had this wonderful collection in her store for all these years. And I'm glad to help out the Star Center Mall as well by taking some of these things back to where they came from, so that the collectors who are really enthusiastic about this stuff get a chance at them. So I have to go picking now. Well, whether you're a Fenton fancier or not, it is really amazing to see such a huge variety of one thing, don't you think? There's so much more detail that we could go into about the designers and why Fenton ended up being this big art glass company and why their name has continued on in glassmaking, but that's maybe for another time. I think for all that you need to come to the convention. That's why I'm going. So here is what I am bringing to the convention. I have tried to pick out a lot of things that glow. I've tried to pick out a lot of fairy lamps, but I've also tried to pick out a variety from all sorts of different lines and different makers. Dave Fetty is the featured maker at the Fenton Convention, so I have a couple of pieces of his here. The woman with the drapery was based on a Verlies mold. Lots of little animal figures too. It's just going to be a lot of fun. The fish that looks enough like Lalique that people confuse it sometimes. As well as this wonderful little dinosaur. Down here you're going to see more of the selection that I'm taking. There are some really unusual pieces here. One of these is one of 14 total that were made of its type. It's just going to be so much fun to represent this wonderful old stuff, and I am looking forward to seeing a bunch of you there. So come see me at the Fenton Convention the 24th through 27th of July. I will be at the Lafayette Hotel. I'm doing appraisals. We'll be selling things. We're going to have a lot of fun. You can get all the details by going to YouTube's Rosie's Auction House, and she can set you up. I know that one complete floor is sold out, but I believe there is still some accommodation available, and there's plenty of places elsewhere in the area to stay as well. There's several other conventions happening, I believe, at the same time, and the museum should be kicking, so there will be lots of fun things to see and do there. I have been told for 30 years that this is something that I should do someday, and I'm really happy that I'm finally getting the chance. Hope to see you there, and if not, we'll see you with more information and details and share in the fun on various sites, including here at the Antique Nomad, so stay tuned. Bye for now. Thanks for joining me again in the fun and fascinating antique community, here where online meets the real world. Please click the subscribe button below, click the bell to be notified when new videos upload, leave a comment below, and hit thumbs up to like this video. Links to our online social media and our items for sale are in the description. This is George at the Antique Nomad. Bye for now.